Welcome, Didi Morris here. Let's delve right into this topic today: narcissistic rage. Narcissistic rage is the response of a narcissist to anything they perceive as a threat to their ego, to their control, or to their power. It is usually intense, out of proportion, is often random, and is used to manipulate. Now, let's get into some background. Malignant narcissists are grandiose, very self-centered individuals who believe they are superior to others. They have enormous sense of entitlement. They take sadistic pleasure in dominating others and take whatever they want. They have a huge but fragile ego. They have an inflated self-esteem, and they live in a world where they see themselves as perfect, and they expect others to live up to their ideals. These types expect praise. They expect adoration, respect, and submission from all those around them. This is in order to bolster their ego and to maintain their sense of importance. The problem is, every now and then, their power is challenged, or someone criticizes them, or a partner or the husband or wife of a narcissist asks for their own needs to be met or to put before that of the narcissist. These are all considered a threat to the narcissist's ego and his or her sense of control. The term used for this is narcissistic injury, which I've discussed in a previous video. An injury can be a real threat or an imagined threat. So even if a narcissist simply thinks that there is a threat, he or she may respond with rage. Now let's look at a couple of types of narcissistic rage. The rage of the narcissist can vary from giving just a cold shoulder to full-blown violent episodes. Both of these situations can be very devastating to the person on the receiving end. Remember, narcissists create a dependency in their victims so that the whole of the partner or child revolves around the narcissist. This is at the same time, the narcissist may also be plotting how to get revenge on the person who dared to challenge them. So the person gets twice the punishment. So you would experience the narcissistic rage and the narcissist plotting revenge against you. At the other end of the spectrum is the violence, which can be verbal, sexual, or physical. Malignant narcissists will throw things around the room, smashing items, furniture, doors, walls, and beating their attacker is quite common. Verbal violence is a specialty with narcissists. The verbally abusive man or woman knows how to instantly make a person feel about 2 inches tall. They will go straight for the weakest points, and they have no problem fighting dirty either. Narcissistic injury is typically sudden and intense. The person subjected to it feels very much like they are being attacked. Even if they're getting the cold shoulder treatment, the effect is severe because of the level of dependency on the narcissist. Watching someone destroy the walls of the room in rage is pretty intense. Having someone strangle you while screaming in your face can be very horrifying. Listening to someone you like or love belittling you by attacking your weaknesses in a systematic and deliberate and cruel way is so very intense. This can be an innocent comment, a tone of voice, an inflection of voice, or even just a hand gesture, but it's enough to elicit full-blown rage, much to the distress of all in the vicinity. Narcissists are also inconsistent in their responses in general. This applies to their episodes of rage too. One day something upsets the narcissist. One day something upsets them. The next day, the same situation. The next day, the same thing or situation does not upset the narcissist. Or all of a sudden they decide that they don't like something and it sets them off. The result is that the partner of the narcissist or the children of the controlling narcissist become very sensitive to the moods of the narcissist. They become very hypervigilant, very cautious, all the time being very careful not to upset the monster beneath. Of course, this is wonderful for the narcissist. People around him or her are giving them more attention by being submissive and taking more care of the narcissist, and so on and so forth. But most of all, the narcissistic rage is manipulative. It trains all those around the narcissist how to make decisions and how to behave. It is a way for the narcissist to punish unwanted behavior in their minions. Some narcissists will even throw rages for no reason other than to show who's the boss. The rages of the narcissist are often confined to one situation. For example, situations that happen at home with the family but never happens outside of the home or publicly. This allows the narcissist to maintain the persona of being a friendly, helpful, and great person to those on the outside world or the external world, while only the family of the narcissist gets to see the real creature. Targets of narcissistic rage become a part of a vicious cycle where they believe that they are to blame for the rages, and so they try to be on their best behavior around the narcissist. But that doesn't always work because the narcissist moves the goalposts. And the not knowing of this moving of the goalposts adds to the dependency of the victims. They become more susceptible to the outbursts, and on and on and so on. You should keep in mind at all times that the narcissistic rage is occurring because the narcissist's ego is threatened and at risk of exposure. There's really no way of dealing with narcissistic rage. You can't tolerate it, you can't even get used to it. Leaving yourself in a position where you are the target of this kind of anger and control is just a waste of your life. If you are looking for techniques to manage these situations or ways to help the person with a narcissistic disorder, please give it up. Firstly, narcissists don't want to change and they can't change because it's pathological. Secondly, being a target of these rages will destroy you. It is abusive. There are no shortcuts here, and it takes a ton of courage. It takes a lot of effort and time to get out of such relationships with narcissists, but it's the only way to get free. I'd like to say thanks for staying tuned. This is the message I wanted to share with you regarding narcissistic rage. Until my next video, please visit my channel's homepage and browse the description box below for more information. Like, share, and subscribe. Bye-bye.